Nigeria targets additional 1.2 billion litres to scale up milk production. Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria embarks on industrial action over non-implementation of salary adjustment. Estate development experts applaud federal government's quest to eliminate housing deficit nationwide. Hello and many thanks for joining us on the news desk at 6 on NTN News 24. We are live in Abuja. I am Chinenye Nwoye. We begin from the ECOWAS sub-region, where the 2025 first ordinary session of ECOWAS Parliament has ended in Abuja with a call for regional peace, security and people-driven development. At the closing session, President of ECOWAS Commission, Omar Aliu Toure, presented the annual midterm report on the state of the community to the House of Parliament. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
Weeks of debate now is over, with hopeful resolutions for better West Africa.
De la présente session, pour vous réitérer ma sincère gratitude pour la confiance.
Despite challenges believed to be facing the ECOWAS community, characterized by political upheavals in 3 member states, as well as a slowdown in global economy, the region is witnessing economic growth.
The growth would be driven mainly by the 4 largest economies, namely Senegal 6.5%, Ghana 4.0%, Nigeria and Cote d'Ivoire. Inflationary pressures in ECOWAS is expected to ease slightly in 2025. 19.7%, compared to 24.8% in 2024.
Other key areas in the year under review include the restoration of democratic transition in Guinea, operationalization of ECOWAS standby force to fight terrorism, single currency program, and promotion of common market and private sector development in the region.
Our people want a safe and secure environment, not with the Boko Harams and the bandits and Israel from the Sahel.
We have been told that countries do not fully respect their commitments to pay the community levies.
The state legislature amended its rules of procedures to adapt to current realities and improve transparency in decision-making process. In Abuja, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTN News.
Ongoing comprehensive collaborative engagements between various organizations in the housing ecosystem, guests on NTA's program Good Morning Nigeria believe is creating a paradigm shift. Is federal government's efforts at ensuring affordable and accessible housing for all citizens. They are applauding President Bola Tinubu for providing the political backing needed to eliminate housing deficit across the country. Lydia Sampson reports.
Towards deepening the basic concept of affordable housing, guests on Good Morning Nigeria are on the same page that state government support in providing land is key. They acknowledge federal government's plan can only be realized with all stakeholders on board.
All the houses available were not within the threshold of affordability to our target market, the low and middle income earners. That was why we decided to venture into construction financing, so that we can control the prices at which these houses are delivered for our members. And I keep saying, in Nigeria, we have houses we do not need, and we need houses that we do not have. If you go through the streets of Abuja or any major city, you will see a lot of empty houses. Why is this? Those houses are not affordable. Housing is key. It's a serious matter. When you house your staff, when it comes to the office on the second day, that's productivity. If he has not slept well, the possibility that when he gets to the office, he'll be sleeping is there. Meaning, there's a correlation
between housing and productivity.
They urge workers, both in the public and private sectors contributing to housing schemes, to take advantage of various offers by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria to own homes.
The improvement we need to do is to have that understanding across all the stakeholders of the need for all of us to chip in something to make for affordability for Nigerians to have the housing they need.
Though there are still challenges, guests on the program believe 2 years of President Bola Tinubu having created a standalone ministry on housing is determined to make sure housing is prioritized to change the deficit situation for good. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
And still on the 2-year administration of President Bola Tinubu, every nation reaches moments that call not just for action, but reflection, a pause to honor progress. That was the mood in Abuja as a group known as the Renewed Hope Ambassadors gathered to mark 2 years of President Bola Tinubu's administration, a period they say has been defined by impact. Deborah Bala Bobo reports.
A celebration of leadership and legacy of President Bola Tinubu's 2 years in office. The Renewed Hope Ambassadors rolled out the drums, applauding what they describe as visible strides across sectors.
This is not just an event, it is a statement. It is a salute to bold leadership, relentless advocacy, and the many hands building the Nigeria of tomorrow. Yes, we're not out of the woods yet, but we have turned that corner, and the light at the end of the tunnel is now in sight. This is not a gathering, not of praise singing, but of truth telling.
We are here to celebrate national unity. We are here to celebrate economic development. The achievements recorded so far are too numerous, and they have literally touched all facets of our national life.
In just 2 years, we have seen the wheels of reform turning boldly and deliberately from the decisive removal of fuel subsidy to the unification of the exchange rates, from the revitalization of critical infrastructure to renewed hopes in education, healthcare, agriculture, and sustainable economic growth and the development that this administration has dared to take.
A reassurance from the presidential aide, Dr. Aliu Modibo Umar, of more visible development. It was a time of goodwill messages and light entertainment, all in the spirit of the Renewed Hope agenda. In Abuja, Deborah Balagubu, NTA News.
Let's now go to Switzerland, where governments, the United Nations system, and other stakeholders are in Geneva to share knowledge and trends in disaster risk management. Mina Daniels is in Geneva, Switzerland, and brings us insights on the 8th Global Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction. Hello, Mina. I understand that ahead of the official opening of the Global Platform for this disaster risk reduction in the coming days, stakeholders are already holding talks on how to manage disasters, especially in vulnerable countries. Can you give us some context to these conversations?
Is spot on, because indeed stakeholders are already on ground here at the Geneva International Conference Center to begin identifying gaps in the implementation of the Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction. A multi-level conversation by critical stakeholders, including head of the UNDRR. We provide partners the opportunity to network and exchange knowledge on the implementation of the Sendai framework 2015 to 2030.
Access to early warning has improved, but on other targets like reducing the number of people affected, which means the fewer houses destroyed, fewer livelihoods lost, we have not done well. Reducing economic losses, we have not done well. Reducing infrastructure losses, we have not done well. So how do we use the remaining 5 years to infuse a sense of urgency into achieving these? I think the Sendai targets are within reach. We should really do everything we can in these 5 years to achieve these targets.
Meanwhile, the World Resilience and Recovery Conference is slated to provide priority actions to strengthen disaster resilience globally. But of course, the NTA is on ground and will continue to keep you up to speed with proceedings at the global platform. In Geneva, Switzerland, Minna Daniels, NTA News.
Many thanks, Mina. And back home in Nigeria, the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, JUSUN, has embarked on industrial action with the Federal High Court chapter locking out judges, lawyers, staff and litigants from accessing the court's premises. This followed the indefinite strike declared by its national body over the alleged government's failure to implement salary adjustment based on the new minimum wage of 70,000 naira and the payments of wage awards. At the Federal High Court headquarters, located along the Shehu Shagari Way in Abuja, all the entrance gates into the high-rise building were under lock. The Court of Appeal and the FCT High Court in Maitama have been placed under lockdown with a banner labeled "JUSUN on strike" hung on the gate.
So good, we have been negotiating. You know, it's one of the tools of unionism. But unfortunately for us, all our requests, our appeal have been turned down. And that is why we will embark on this strike. Even though we are still negotiating, anytime they call us, we will respond. But we will not call up until our demands are met.
However, the Supreme Court is open for adjudication on matters before it as the workers pulled out of the strike.
And to see the sources of this payment, it will be an effort in futility for Supreme Court to join this ongoing strike. But we are with them 100%.
Nigeria is set to close the milk production gap by unlocking the vast potential of its dairy value chain. The country aims to produce an additional 1.2 billion liters of milk annually over the next 5 years. Currently, Nigeria produces about 600 million liters of milk per year. However, key stakeholders are pushing a new narrative, one that seeks to transform the dairy sector into a more productive, resilient, and inclusive industry. At a dairy conference held in Abuja, the Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mukhtar Meha, emphasized that the efforts to strengthen the sector are collective, framed as building blocks for national development.
Sure that we lead in this sector in the not-distant future. We are not threatening any global player. The sky is big. We will not clash. We just want to take our rightful position. Our goal is ambitious but achievable. To double Nigeria's milk production from 600,000 metric tons to 1.2 million metric tons in the next 5 years.
And they have really demonstrated strong commitment to local sourcing, capacity building and dairy infrastructure. So the EU is collaborating with them and the broader ecosystem to deepen their engagement by developing more sustainable growth pathways.
Also featured exhibitions by key players across the dairy value chain, showcasing innovation, products and initiatives aimed at boosting local milk production and processing. 1 year after the presidential compressed natural gas initiative, it is now believed that those doubting the viability of the program are singing a new tune. A statement by Michael Oluwabemi, Program Director, Chief Executive, PCNGI, said with over 50,000 vehicle counts and rising to 100,000, the queues at CNG stations are naturally going to rise because of such unprecedented increase from mere 4,000 in the past as a result of massive incentive provided by President Bola Tinubu's administration and the breakthrough in awareness due to the economic benefits of the switch. Consequently, 2 new daughter stations were inaugurated in Abuja with AY Shafa and FEMADEC investing in these ventures. 9 and 21 daughter stations would be delivered soon. The Midstream and Downstream Gas Infrastructure Fund and FEMADEC are also providing the dual benefit of building CNG ecosystem in 20 universities. The federal government has declared Friday 6th and Monday 9th June 2025 as public holidays to mark this year's Eid al-Adha celebration. Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, who made the declaration on behalf of the federal government, congratulated all Muslim Ummah, both at home and in the diaspora, on this occasion. He called on the Muslim Ummah to continue to imbibe the spirit of sacrifice and faith as exemplified by Prophet Ibrahim, peace be unto him, and to also use the period to pray for a peaceful and prosperous Nigeria. The minister assured Nigerians that the people-oriented reforms and initiatives carried out in furtherance of the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu's administration is to restore Nigeria on the path of progress. While wishing the Muslim Ummah a happy Eid al-Adha celebration, the minister urged all Nigerians to join hands with the present administration in its effort to restore the glory of Nigeria as a great nation. This is the news desk at 6 on NTN News 24. We'll take a break here. There will be more reports when we return. Do stay.
I am pleased to announce encouraging news from the National Bureau of Statistics, which released the Consumer Price Index, the CPI, for April 2025 only yesterday. According to the report, the headline inflation rate for April stood at 23.71%, This represents a decrease of 0.52% from the 24.23% recorded in March 2025. Similarly, month-on-month inflation dropped by a notable 2.04% from 3.90% in March to 1.86% in April. This, of course, did not just happen by chance. The President is focused and is determined, and his determination and his interventions are clearly paying off. The benefits of reform, though gradual, are real and measurable.
This is NTA News 24.
Many thanks for staying on. The federal government's initiative to fully digitize the civil service by the end of 2025 is advancing its course with the launch of the Enterprise Content Management (ECM) system at the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare in Abuja. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, DD Esther Walson-Jack, at an engagement with the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Ali Pate, at the ministry's headquarters, emphasized that the core objective of digitizing operations across all ministries, departments and agencies is to enhance the efficiency of government operations. ECM platform is a system reimagining how the civil service is meeting the expectations of Nigerians in an increasingly digitized world, and the implementers of the project say this latest integration will drive automated processes of the health sector to better decision-making, greater accountability, and ultimately improved citizens' healthcare outcomes.
Management system. Many others are in different stages, and we are pushing to see that come the end of this year, all the ministries and extra-ministerial departments would be digital. In other words, they would go paperless. So we are moving to transform the public service digitally. That's the target.
It will be faster and more effective. Our ability to conduct government's business, to use government's resources more efficiently. So we think it's a very good step. The service is a key engine of that transformation. With the ECM going live, we will see more efficiency and more effectiveness in the conduct of government business. And we're very proud of what the Federal Ministry of Health and all the civil servants and public servants are doing together in collaboration and in support of Mr. President's renewed hope agenda.
As part of steps towards promoting unity among its members worldwide, Ahmadu Bello University Alumni Association has reawakened its spirits with commissioning of some projects to ensure effective service delivery. Lawal Salau Inuwa reports that Vice-Chancellor Professor Adamu Ahmed pledged to join hands with the alma mater to lift the institution to an enviable height.
With more than 1 million members worldwide, Ahmadu Bello University Alumni Association remains one of the leading alma mater not only in northern states but also across the country. To ensure the unity and giving back to its base, the alumni has commissioned some projects in the Secretariat for the smooth running of services. The projects include gate, security posts and toilets, perimeter fence, borehole among others. Vice-Chancellor of the University, Professor Adamu Ahmed, said recently the institution signed a memorandum of understanding with the Rural Electrification Agency with a view to provide 10 megawatt solar power, which only 3 hostels can benefit out of 9.
Certainly, the government is not in a position to fund every of our needs. So, and the first port of call will be the alumni. And this current ESCO led by the president are doing extremely very well. And what we only need to do as a university is to provide additional support to ensure that they do even more.
The president of the alumni, Adamu Mamman Kwantagora, said the association has set to collaborate with the university to ensure the success of endowment fund projects, which targeted 1 billion naira annually.
Look at in the entire West Africa, Ahmadu Bello University is the biggest, and it's one of the oldest university in Nigeria, which has more than 500 thousands alumni graduates, and we have to look for these people, and we have to see what they can bring back. And one good thing about it that is making it easy for us. We already have an endowment fund, and chaired by a man of integrity, honesty, and sincerity, and the present chairman and pro-chancellor of the Governing Council, Ayale Ahmed, who is known nationally in terms of integrity.
Other members bore their minds on the development.
This is the first time that we have somebody who was Director of University Advancement, who has worked closely with Alumni Association, is now the Vice Chancellor of the university, so he knows it all.
It's a great development. The ultimate goal is that from every association should be well organized. We should have a secretariat where you can plan, develop and plan strategy on how we can move the university forward.
It's a great achievement, and it's a good example to the branches all throughout the country and even abroad.
Actually, it used to be a thoroughfare, but with this development, I think it's highly encouraging, and there is more security beefed up near my house.
Earlier, the leadership of the Executive Council Committee, under the President Bagdam Kwantagora Adamu Mamman, paid a courtesy visit to the Vice-Chancellor Professor Adamu Ahmed, where critical issues digest on how best the challenges of the university can be surmounted. From Zaria, Lawal Sallau Inua, NTA News.
The commemoration of the 2025 Children's Day celebration may have come and gone, but the memory lingers. The day was again in focus at the 5th Abuja National Musical Concert, where Nigerians were celebrated. Children from different primary and secondary schools participated in the concert, which majorly exposed their talent. The Director of Music, Nigerian Air Force School, stated that schools need to add music to their curriculum for proper knowledge and understanding.
Both in the Army, in the Nigerian Air Force, in the Nigerian Navy, offering music. So, and that's a testament that we value music as a department in the Armed Forces of Nigeria.
Displayed their talent with different musical instruments and vocal voice delivery, urging government to do more in harnessing their talents.
Classic music, a lot of music now, Afrobeats, hip-hop, those are the ones that are reigning. But classic and Disney music is what really we grew up with, and bringing it back is just very refreshing.
And I enjoyed the music that I heard, and I enjoyed the view.
I really appreciate the efforts of them setting up this whole event because it encourages students like myself to step out of their comfort zone and to express their musical talents because God has gifted us. There's no better way than to show the world what we can do with it.
I really enjoyed this competition. I believe my school will win this competition, most definitely. We've been training for hours and hours for weeks, so yeah.
And that concludes the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. We thank you so much for being a part of it. I am Chinenye Ngoye.